Third-party group stalker is seen in a dark gray Kia exiting the parking lot right now at 7:43 p.m. Loitering in relevant position while the state is amplifying ongoing noise inside of my room. The state is crossing paths with amplified sirens. By the way, while I'm physically indisposed in the bathroom, engaging in that same behavioral pattern of sounding sirens for just 2 seconds, and it is amplified inside of the room, both of those indicative of state presence. This third party is driving out of the parking lot after loitering in relevant position. Again, it is 7:43 p.m. on Tuesday, April 20, 2021. I'm just stepping outside to document third parties as they are listening to me inside of the room and maintaining presence, maintaining activity levels. And as they are listening to me prepare to exit the room, that is what is the creation of sensational activity. So it sounds like, feels like an earthquake as a group stalker closes the door. All right, and this is what third parties are doing on a constant basis. I'm just stepping out to get more documentation. That was a dark gray Kia. Again, the state maintaining light activity with the flickering light at the driveway. That is creating light activity while group stalkers maintain presence. Group stalkers in the parking lot in their cars while the state is sounding sirens, while the state is amplifying ongoing noise, creating also sensational activity. Pursuant to that same behavioral pattern, no real emergency. That is monitoring conduct that the police, the ambulance, and the fire trucks, that is the state acting directly and facilitating that criminal conduct in concert with the people of the state. I want to get these license plates that are in relevant position. These are, again, denoting the presence of third parties, not limiting the ongoing presence of third parties that are in relevant position. Again, the entity that is monitoring documentation, aware that I specifically recite license plates on my podcast, in my videos. So the presence of third-party license plates is not the only indication of third parties that are on the property. I want to be clear of that. All right, so 6JZE097, ongoing documentation of that third party's license plate. That's the old white gentleman, heavily documented, engaging in criminal monitoring, kidnapping, sexually violent monitoring conduct, and the overall P.O.C. with the state. 7ZWC 321. The same, that is the Latina female, represents herself as an employee engaged in documented harassment and targeting and an assault, because she was also physically assaulting me while she was yelling and harassing me, which is also audible activity. So she's engaged in all of this while she is monitoring. This is 8Y45059, license plate 8JEZ800, license plate 8DST505. License plate 6NGK289, license plate 19761L2, and third parties will be seen exiting their rooms on the second floor. Understand they're engaging in relevant positioning. It is 7:46 p.m. And they are maintaining presence in the path, aware of what I am doing, and exiting their room as the means of getting in the path, engaging in relevant positioning. There is no conduct that is observed on the surveillance cameras that is anything other than that, whether I am inside or outside of the room. Federal group stalking and monitoring is ceaselessly underway while they maintain real-time knowledge of everything that I'm doing and saying, including while I'm inside of the room. So I want to be clear of that. They are walking down what is the west staircase banner, and there are surveillance cameras at that end as well. The flickering light at the driveway is light activity for their monitoring purposes, the amplification of ongoing audible activity. That's P.O.C, and that's just some of the license plates. And I'm going to get more as I venture out of the economy in room. That's P.O.C. All right, license plate. It's like 82584A3. They are sitting in a red pickup truck with their headlights on, loitering in relevant position. That's crossing a path. And again, my shadow is gigantic on the first floor. I'm on the second floor walking. That's the state's directed light, okay? That's speaking to what they're engaging in, while the state is also maintaining that ongoing conduct of light activity. The flickering light at the driveway is not a malfunction. This is occurring at every location where I'm at, some method of light activity. Crossing path at the driveway, heavy set male with a face mask on, olive green shirt, walking across the pathway, the driveway. He's crossing path. They're maintaining presence at the mobile gas station. They're maintaining presence at the back parking lot area of the mobile gas station. The headlights of this third party in the red pickup truck now on. This will be seen in real time on the surveillance cameras at 7:50 p.m. This is monitoring conduct as I'm just observing my immediate surroundings. License plate, let's see, 7XQX688. License plate, let's see. Can't really see that one. Looks like a handicap. 6BXK641. All right, this license plate, and I want to be clear, this third party in the pickup truck, he drives off as I come downstairs. Understand, that's concerted conduct. Maintaining presence and light, sitting in the car, knows that I'm leaving. And I'm referencing the cameras. Again, that's license plate 82584A3. This license plate that I could not read on the second floor is 7MSA676. P.O.C. This third party in the red pickup truck stops. All right, no reason. All right, he's maintaining presence. I walk back to get the license plate. I'm just letting you know everything they're doing is intentional conduct. Group stalker on the bike. He's crossing path. They're acting as one group. This is all going to be seen on the surveillance cameras at the venue. It's currently 7:53 a.m. All right, now the traffic that you hear right now while I'm out here on the street, this is the traffic that the state is amplifying inside of my room, which is called impossible audible activity, maintaining the same level of volume while I'm inside of the room. They're monitoring. That's why the state is amplifying their activity. 8 MEF 499, 7 UXD 096, essentially similar. RRU 68. Oh, I can't really see that one. Let's see. I want to get some of these third parties because they're engaged in systematic monitoring. And again, I'm prosecuting one group. I'm merely specifically identifying those of the same group. Okay, the people of the state of California are prosecuted. They're being prosecuted. That is no license plate. 7UIM 647. Substantially similar. They're driving what is north on Euclid Avenue, crossing path. The state maintaining the flickering light at the driveway. They're monitoring in the mobile gas station. They're monitoring as they're driving in and out. They're monitoring as they're driving up Euclid Avenue. 6BZF 453. Okay, and you know that they're monitoring because they're amplifying. The state is amplifying their activity while I'm inside of the room. What the state amplifies, the state is acting in concert with. 27863F2. All right, where the state is aiming, it's the same thing with the light activity. Third parties are not ignorant that there is a fake sun above them. Third parties are not ignorant that light is moving all around as they do mundane activities such as opening and closing doors, light moving all around on the surfaces around in ways that are absolutely unnatural to occur. They're not ignorant of that. They're engaging in that conduct to engage in that ongoing monitoring conduct, which is creepy, demonic conduct by the group. I'm merely pointing out how you are actually discerning what they are engaged in. It's not only criminal, it's very, very demented. They're not ignorant of it, and that's why their traffic activity is being amplified, because they're acting in concert. This is how the entity monitors. Group stalkers, as I've already documented before, ready to be documented again, sitting in the parking lot in relevant position at grocery outlet, sitting at the farthest end of the parking lot with the headlights on facing Euclid Avenue. That's called loitering in relevant position. This is license plate 6YFT099. The entirety of what the state is engaged in is already established. So this is literally calling off names. That's a group stalker. 6STP833. I'm just reading off license plates of third-party vehicles in the parking lot. 30427T1, 65115C2. A group stalker that's sitting in their car, headlights on again. This is the maintenance of light and presence in the parking lot. Paper plate BL74B30. That VIN number JTDS4MCE7MJO74897. That's a blue Toyota Corolla. All right, sitting with the headlights on, that's a maintenance of light and presence in my path as I'm walking through the parking lot. So they're not idly present. This is how the entity maintains presence. It's called passive-aggressive stalking. Not so passive-aggressive once you incorporate the totality of circumstances. Group stalking by plane, helicopter, police, fire, and ambulance, engaging in that same behavioral pattern, and you are seeing what the people of the state are doing to participate in that. 6NTX533, 7YUA185. Group stalking in the Walgreens parking lot. Walgreens is at 2245 Euclid Avenue. Okay, so third-party license plate approaching me as I come to the driveway, 8SQX222, maintaining presence in the path with a turn signal. They're group stalking. They're just sitting in the driveway. License plate, third-party group stalker, license 347EHI. That looks like an Oklahoma plate. License plate 7L23034. Can't really see that one that clearly, but I'm gonna go back and read this one over here. They're doing the same thing, sitting in the parking lot. This is their means of maintaining presence in the path and maintaining light using their cars. Okay, license JONSLEX. This is license 7L21034. 5NUA294-6HLH898. Understand, inside of Walgreens, they're in relevant position. They're monitoring me right now while I'm walking through the parking lot. Okay, 7WEM079. 6VOL140. Crossing path and touching with light, 6HJN571. That's a heavy set male, facial hair on his chin. Group stalking and monitoring, OKINHBT. This is 5KKUO74. 31281K2. All right, the state has directed light all over this area. This is how you know what they're doing. They don't have to say anything. They just maintain presence. And once you understand what are the elements and what is the state system, you literally, all you have to do is run down names. That's all you're doing. Walgreens is monitoring, and the state is flying over by airplane. The state is a stalker. I've already established this. I'm focusing on naming the people of the state of California. I am on the reference cameras right now of Walgreens. I am referencing them to speak to P.O.C. in my presence. Group stalker in their car, in a white Chevy SUV. This is license plate 8TIB395, and third-party group stalker touching while she's crossing path 5GMN802. License 8ETY439. License 6RMX394. License 7REB210. Sitting in their vehicle, you hear that ignition, they're group stalking, and they know that I'm coming, as they are all aware. They're all monitoring. They're all group stalking. 7SHK408, and touching coming from behind is group stalker with license plate 5MLD141. All right, making sure she drives past. As I walk to the opposite end of the parking lot, she's making sure that somebody is present with light and present in the parking lot. That's what that is. You're not ordinarily just driving around and sitting with your headlights on. It's called group stalking, especially where the state is stalking, as is already established. It is currently 7:57 p.m. So those group stalkers in the white Chevy, they're now getting out of their car, and they're going to be seen on the Walgreens cameras. She's with two minor children, a boy and a girl, and I'm referencing the cameras at the same time. This is P.O.C. as you see them walking in, but they're all inside of Walgreens already in relevant position monitoring together. Okay? It's the same thing for grocery outlet. State is aiming directed light as third-party group stalker drives in the path with headlights on. That's exceptionally bright headlights. That's not actually coming from their headlights as they speed into the parking lot. This is license plate 8KKF223. These are psychopaths, and this is why you prosecute them. They need to be in straitjackets. This is demonic activity, too, that I'm speaking to, making it manifest what they're doing. The state is directing light, meaning you have exceptionally bright light that is spanning past the distance that ordinary headlights are going to span. That's also speaking to what the third parties are engaging in. So this third party that's going to be seen on camera at grocery outlet drives to the farthest end of the parking lot. He is the one that was in the vehicle that was used to act in concert with the state that directed light onto me. He looks to be about 5'5", 5'6". He has on a dark gray jacket, white tennis shoes, what looks like a blue check on them, like Nike, and he's going into grocery outlet right now. It is 7:59 p.m. He walks toward the entrance door and does not enter, as he's aware of what I'm saying, trying to contradict. He goes to the carts, and he's going inside of grocery outlet with the grocery cart right now. That's P.O.C., and I want to get his license plate. The state aims directed light on me as he is driving in the path, so understand how that's concerted. It's supposed to be that his headlights are that bright that are reaching from that distance to molest me with light. That's what third parties engage in. Directed light is also being aimed against the opposite side of the wall of economy N. Right now, that is the state conduct, 8GGU504. That's the third-party license plate of the one that's inside of grocery outlet, specifically acting with the state that's molesting me with light, while he is also in the path, acting in concert. His headlights are supposed to be the guise under which that directed light is molesting my person. This is license plate 30427T1. That's a dark colored pickup truck, Dodge Ram. Group stalker sitting in the car, and a group stalker probably inside of the venue as well. I want to be clear, the state is flying over by aircraft. The state is always stalking. I have already established this. So you have what are group stalkers at the grocery store acting with the state. It is 8 p.m. on the dot, and I'm referencing the grocery outlet cameras right now. And grocery outlet is located at 2275, I believe, 2275 South Euclid Avenue. State flying over right now. This is maintenance of noise levels in the store. Sandy, that's P.O.C. This is how you group stock in a grocery store. You just keep up noise and maintain presence in the path. Very easy to do with a grocery cart in your hand. The state is stalking via airplane and helicopter. The state is remaining in relevant position. Group stalking by Ontario Police, Ontario Fire Department, AMR Ambulance, and the state is maintaining presence and monitoring me to this ongoing complementary activity. It is the absence of coincidence. This is how the people of the state of California maliciously group stalk and monitor American citizens. Again, this is Grocery Outlet 2275 Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California. It is 8:03 p.m. All right, that's a grocery outlet employee group stalking sitting in their car while group stalkers are crossing the path using light. The state flying over my head, creating audible activity while they surround. That's group stalker 8 EEY 352 on cameras now entering, walking back toward the entrance, monitoring with the patrons. They're all third parties, okay? I just wanted to capture that. She's sitting in the darkness in her car, not an ordinary lunch break, okay? Loitering in relevant position, monitoring with the state that is entirely targeted and flying directly over my head as I captured on video yet again while I document what are third parties in the path, creating light, audible activity while the state is stalking. That's P.O.C. That group stalker goes to Cal Baptist University. Understand, no institution, no organization, no title, no appearance, no economic status, no race, no trade that you are engaged in is in any way, any sort of legally relevant form for what is ongoing federal group stalking and monitoring. This is a state system, and this is that which is embedded into society in the state of California, and this is a template for what the government is engaged in for systematically monitoring. Again, you've got the state that flew over my head in video, which I captured, flying directly over my head at this parking lot. It's flying squarely over my head while I am at my room at 2278 Economy, and over my head while I'm at Economy in the parking lot as I capture third parties. Very targeted in where it's at. Flies over my head and then swerves to fly in the opposite direction, okay? A third-party group stalker using their vehicle right now for light activity. The African-American male seen loitering in relevant position while I'm shopping for cookies. He's a group stalker. 7WRW364. They just stand in the aisles looking like they're looking for something. They're just making sure they keep me surrounded physically and audibly. Grocery outlet using their PA system as a means of stalking with activity. Any other means, the same behavioral pattern using any kind of means to create audible activity. The state is now patrolling over the Walgreens and over this parking lot. I'm going to go ahead and get that again. It's making a short turn in the sky while you get 7WRW364. This is P.O.C. All right. All right, it is 8:47 p.m. and I did capture what is a second plane that comes out of nowhere right over where the Walgreens is. Understand, the state is always stalking. It's just here patrolling over where I am physically located, and that was a second plane within 60 seconds flying up, increasing elevation right here at the Walgreens to fly directly over my head in the parking lot while group stalkers are maintaining presence in the parking lot, and that's what I'm documenting. And this is third-party license plate touching. She's molesting with light while she's monitoring. License 7KJP843. Monitoring with the state, now patrolling, using her reverse lights, backing up and in and out. None of them know how to drive or park when they're monitoring. It's a means of patrolling and light activity. And she's repeatedly touching. You're going to be prosecuted for that. That's P.O.C. That's 7KJP843. Okay, that's where the state is flying directly over my head. Directed light onto the back of the Economy Inn. That's P.O.C. By the way, while I'm walking out of the store, my shadow appearing on that far end of that building from this location in the parking lot right before the first plane flew over my head. That's called directed light. That's called impossible light activity. This is speaking to what 7KJP843 is engaging in. This is how you prosecute monitoring. You have their shadows that are moving across that Economy Inn building. There are no headlights. There is nothing that any of them in the parking lot can create to create that massive light activity. That's directed light. And that's also demonic light activity while they are maintaining presence, acting maliciously with the state. That is Third party with the license plate 8UFU537, creating light activity while they're walking in the state's directed light, driving in circles around me in the parking lot, like a psychopath that they are. License plate 82253U2. Vehicle 23025 is on the back of that truck. All right, drives around in a circle and now reverses. That's called light activity. That's called patrolling because they have crossed path more than once. This is P.O.C. All right, that is the state. Again, what I captured the significance, the directed light. I've already shown you how the state does that. They're molesting with light. So you prosecute every conduct, every act that they engage in while they are monitoring. You have no right to touch when you are an incredibly threatening stalker engaged in monitoring, and you're touching on top of that. You're gonna be prosecuted for that. Again, and while the state is directing this light, there's shadows appearing on the back of Economy Inn from the parking lot of Grocery Outlet. Absolutely impossible light activity. You've seen this before. I've shown you this at the Coin Laundry off of San Antonio, where the state was increasing the size of shadows on the wall inside of that venue. That's exactly what the state is doing on the backside of Economy Inn. You've seen this light activity. That's called directed light. It is 8:49 p.m. and those are just the third parties that I'm documenting that are patrolling in this parking lot while the state's flying over, placing directed light on the surfaces around and amplifying audible activity. That's P.O.C. Another plane flying over right now, and the fake moon directly over my head also inside of this parking lot. That's what I also captured in the video. That is not the moon, all right? That's the state's pattern of conduct. That is an object, a light source, if you will, that the state, you literally, and I've already documented this, keeps directly over my head, just like it does with its fake sun. It's not the sun that follows, that is remaining over any property where I'm at for the duration of the day, rising and both quote unquote setting at that same location, all right? That same precise presence where I am with its light source, and that is not the moon that's over my head, by the way. This is the center of the universe of the target individual where you're being monitored, okay? You see that ongoing pattern. This is all speaking to what they are engaged in, all right? That's P.O.C. All right. And this is the entity engaged in that. This is the creation of, this is an ongoing communication of an impervious threat. This is an ongoing engagement in criminal monitoring when they are documenting that which is the evidence of their criminal conduct. That all goes to prosecution. All right. And this is just merely specifically identifying actors within one group. The people of the state of California are one group. They are one group operating under what is that demonic influence. This is demonic activity in the state of California, but it is criminal and in no way impervious to being prosecuted and identified based on objective facts, based on conduct that you can visually and audibly observe, which is monitoring conduct. I want to be clear, that third party, 82253U2, driving in a circle in the parking lot, then backing up, that's called patrolling around and creating light activity, just sitting in a car in relevant position. That's a psychopath like all of them are. The psychopaths on Euclid Avenue, the state amplifies their audible activity using their cars. They're psychopaths systematically monitoring. The same on the 60 freeway. The state is amplifying your activity, you're monitoring with the state. The state is creating a directed light where you're moving around in that direction, you're acting in concert with that state. Another one, crossing paths, 7RDS188, P.O.C. All right? Looks like a very demented, he looks as demented as he is. His conduct reveals him as he is, acting in concert with that entity that has revealed itself for what it is, engaging in highly demented group conduct, okay? That's P.O.C. It's 8:51 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and get a picture of this group stock. All right, I took a picture of the group stalkers in the parking lot, 8JCV249, 6EIT161, 8CIH123, and 8UKL643, 6STP833, 5WYR374. Just want to make sure I get those license plates. And I think there's one more over here that I did not get. It is a, what is this? A Tahoe, 7VUA221. All right. I want to be clear, that license plate that I started with, the third party that drove past waiting for me to exit as I described his conduct, and then the state flies directly over my head seconds later. This third party drives to the vehicle. All right, understand that that's just loitering in relevant position, and then they engage in what is supposed to be the outward explanation as to why they're driving past at that moment. This is the state amplifying audible activity, flying directly over my head. 8:53 p.m. This is how you know what 5WYR374 is doing, 8JCV249 is doing. All right? He honks his horn as I'm walking. He's monitoring. All right, that's P.O.C. That's the third plane flying directly over where I'm located. 8HKL643 is that license plate. Want to make sure I read that correctly. That's another one. The state is flying over me as that which is a means of making sure I stay. This is 5WYR 374, touching and molesting while he's monitoring, okay? Want to be clear on that. State flying directly over me again for the third time within 5 minutes over this parking lot of grocery outlet, very, very targeted. That activity is what the state is amplifying inside of my room. I want to be clear on that. Not only is that necessarily amplification, it is also that which is an exceedingly low elevation over this venue, over a grocery store. The state does the same thing over apartment buildings. The state does the same thing over the Ontario Town Square. The state does the same thing while I'm kidnapped inside of what are state facilitating venues of the jails, right, and the court, right, the state amplifying plane activity. This is exactly what they're doing, sitting in their car. Again, 8JCV249, group stalking and monitoring with the government. That is not flying over 227, flying over me where I stand in the parking lot of grocery outlet. While they fly in all manner of direction. You see them, when I capture them on video, flying over my room, literally in a circle. They are necessarily migrating to where I'm standing in this parking lot, not aligned to 227, where they are concentrating on my location, which is also shown on the total absence of coincidence, where you are always present everywhere that I'm going, everywhere that I remain, everywhere that I'm located. That's P.O.C. And I'm referencing the cameras. It's 2275. South Euclid Avenue, group stalking and monitoring, sitting in their cars, using it as a means of audible activity, using them as a means of light activity, monitoring with communication devices, in violation of 18 U.S.C. Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. And the state, again, speaking to what is direct evidence against the people of the state of California. The state's pattern of conduct is already established. The people of the state engaging in that conduct with it. This is necessary. That's how the government is relying on the people of the state in order to maintain presence inside of, for example, the grocery store. Every employee, every patron, our third parties in relevant position, stalking with activity, maintaining activity and light and presence. That's P.O.C. And while I'm inside a grocery outlet, the state doing the exact same thing, flying over repeatedly. That's a psychopath patrolling in planes and helicopters. All right, doing so as I capture more third parties to document, providing that ongoing direct evidence against people of the state of California. It's 8:56 p.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, Erica Lorraine Spencer here. These are just some closing notes. Now, again, this is the P.O.C. This is the podcast of what is ongoing real-time audio documentation of an ongoing crime. This is a crime in action, an unprecedented crime. It is that a government is engaged in. That government is the state of California. The crime that the state of California is engaged in is criminal monitoring, having no probable cause, having no warrant, having no right to do so having no right to do so whatsoever. And what that is monitoring. The state of California is monitoring me via communication devices and doing so in concert with the people of the state of California. This is a ceaseless, malicious state system. So the targeted individual, which is I am being monitored by the state, is in a fishbowl. So this is everywhere that you go. At all times, you remain surrounded. That is the group stalking conduct. Every third party, that is the people of the state, in whatever capacity, whatever their specific identity, they are part of that same group. That is basically a third party, which is otherwise not affiliated with the government proper, and so not a state actor, if you will, but they are in the shoes of the government. The state is maintaining presence vicariously through third parties, and I just want to tie up a few things. So as I'm speaking to these notes, the reason why I want to lay that out again is because P.O.C. does not pause. It does not stop, as my documentation has established, but I just want to make sure I am continuously keeping all of those dots connected. As I publish my podcast at or around 1:13 a.m., again on Wednesday, April 21st, 2021, as I remain at third-party facilitating venue Economy Inn, I did go ahead and take cameras and screenshots of what is monitoring as I am back at this venue. My podcast is capturing P.O.C. and identifying that entity that is acting vicariously and or directly, all right? But I specifically captured third parties. I did not, for example, get any Ontario police vehicles visually. They maintain relevant positioning. They are stalkers. My documentation establishes is they are literally maintaining presence in relevant position, monitoring with the people of the state, and the state is monitoring via planes and helicopters as well. That is a state as well, including in third-party aircrafts, all right? That is the state, though, engaging in that incredible, unprecedented manner of stalking. That is group stalking by airplane, group stalking by helicopter, group stalking by police, group stalking by ambulance, and fire department. Okay, I targeted the presence that was right in front of me, and this is the state acting vicariously. And so as I go from Economy Inn, located at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, to grocery outlet right next door to this venue at 2275 South Euclid Avenue, and P.O.C. ceaselessly underway. Where that entity is monitoring, this is speaking to the literal identification of every third party that you can document in any manner, as I am also readily demonstrating for purposes of prosecuting that entity, and specifically identifying actors within what is a unified corporately acting group. All right. Third parties are not acting as individuals, and they are acting as a group. And not only that, they are acting as a group vicariously on behalf of the government, the public entity that is monitoring you. All right. This is the state's pattern of conduct, that third parties are engaging in concerted criminal conduct with it. And so as I publish my podcast, and I publish my videos, which I uploaded onto the third-party venue of YouTube on the internet, and I embedded those videos onto my podcast. Again, at the moment that I go onto my phone, so this is the monitoring conduct, with the simultaneity with which the activity is created, and the fact that it is activity that is occurring while I'm on my communication device. So they are stalking with activity that I am engaged in on my communication device, and I am being surrounded by what is the ongoing creation of audible activity. Okay, so understand the verbiage there, the term of art with regard to what is the crime of monitoring. Okay, that's how you monitor, and this is the behavioral pattern, regardless of the method that the state is using to create that activity. Again, audible activity, light activity, and this is in the room, in the private space. The state is creating what is audible activity and light activity using the communication device of what is the television. Spectrum is a third party implicated in what is monitoring while I remain in that side of that private space. And I did take a picture of what is the use of the television with simultaneity to my creating the I'm sorry, not the website, but as I upload my podcast, which is audible documentation, onto my website, the moment that I engage in that act online on the internet, the television immediately stops operating and how does the state do this? How is Spectrum engaging in P.O.C., engaging in that behavioral pattern of stalking with that creation of activity? That is the use of what is a parental block on the channel. I'm watching TBS, Friends is on, and also speaking to the operation of the television. I not only am not using any sort of parental lock device, it is also that which is nothing but a method. It is occurring pursuant to that same manner of stalking with activity, meaning following literally what I do with a method of activity creation. And this is occurring inside of a private space. Spectrum is engaging in monitoring an American citizen inside of a private space. Third parties, the people of the state of California. Spectrum represents the people of the state of California acting via a company, maintaining presence inside of the homes of American citizens. Understand that. This is how a government is able to systematically monitor you. A communication device is a television, and it is also more than likely internet operated. This particular one is also internet operated, and this is the use of that television with simultaneity to that. So I take a screenshot of my phone so that you can see what I'm doing on my phone at the moment that the television is used as a means of activity creation. Turning on that parental block where you're required to press in a pin is a means of creating audible activity. Sound was on, sound abruptly stops. That's making sound dynamic. That's the change in the sound, in other words. That's activity creation. The screen is on, the television show is on, and the abrupt stop or halt of that show on the television, and the arrival of what is a blue screen requiring the pen, that is a creation of light activity. That's a creation of visible activity. This is P.O.C., okay? And it is occurring with simultaneity to what I'm doing on a communication device, which is the ongoing pattern. In addition to, as I physically move my person, the state engages in the same stalking with activity conduct, while you maintain physical presence in the path. That's what group stalking is, by the way. So this is what is occurring. I take a picture of the television screen, and I also take a screenshot so that it is seen what I'm doing, and this is the relevance for what the state is doing. And again, Spectrum, third-party group stalkers in relevant position at this venue, the state that is in relevant position via aircraft, and police, fire, and ambulance who are also engaging in this, which I'm going to note. This is P.O.C. And so I take a screenshot of that, and you can see it's still in its template form. I'm creating the blog in order to publish this website as I am capturing P.O.C. As I left from Economy Inn to Grocery Outlet back to Economy Inn. And now this is speaking to what is P.O.C. as I am publishing that documentation. This is relevant for prosecution, okay? This is going to not only monitoring an American citizen, but you're monitored based on the nature of the crime. This is speaking to that mindset. This is that which is necessarily of a demented people, all right? It's not an individual. This is group conduct. You are in no way changing the analysis or how you will assess demented conduct because it is that which is engaged in by a government or engaged in as a group as opposed to a single individual, which would be subject to no less than that of what is a psychopath. Engaging in that same conduct, it is and it shall be no different, okay? And so with regard to the use of the television, this is, again, heavily documented. Spectrum is fully engaged in P.O.C. And again, after what I stated is not a malfunction, Spectrum physically coming and engaging in the P.O.C. to monitor me in person, which is a communication of a threat, while they're monitoring what is documentation of their criminal conduct. This is the people, and that is documented conduct. And it is no malfunction, and that same exact conduct continues to occur, as I already stated, as I already forecasted, because this is nothing new. I've been documenting this for a prolonged period, and this what I mean by this is the use of a television to monitor inside of a private space. And so I take a screenshot of that. I want to be clear at 1:08 a.m. This is where you have the state sounding sirens in relevant position. And this is while the television is going from what is supposed to be a requirement for placing a pin inside of what is a prompt that abruptly appears on the screen as I am engaging in a change of activity on my communication device. And the prompt for the pen suddenly goes into sort of a screensaver mode, which I also take a picture of, and it's literally creating visible activity. Understand that. That's the significance of it. Creating the prompt for creating a pen is nothing but activity creation, a method of creating activity via a television in a private space, okay? And the prompt changes from the requirement for the pen into a screensaver mode where the text is moving around on the television screen. That's visible activity and light activity. I take a picture of that. The state sounds sirens. That's audible activity, which is amplified as well. The next thing that I'm also capturing is the prompt on the television is suddenly goes back from screensaver mode. The prompt reappears onto the screen of the television, which if it was in some sort of screensaver mode, it was refreshed and the prompt appears again. I did take a picture of that as well. This is ongoing operation of the television, operating absent of my touching the remote control. And I have already established that. I have already proven that this is not me, and I have no need to make up anything whatsoever, especially where I have already demonstrated the state engaging in kidnapping my person on more than one occasion, stalking by planes and helicopters everywhere that I go, and stalking literally by police, fire, and ambulance. I don't need to make this up. This is how a public entity is monitoring, and this is the ongoing unilateral, and I put that in air quotes, operation of a television without my even touching the remote control. And again, this is not unilateral operation of the television. This is the state using a television inside of a private space for purposes of activity creation while you are being monitored inside of that private space. This is why it is changing in screens. This is why the prompt abruptly shows up on the television. This is why it is occurring pursuant to that same heavily documented behavioral pattern of stalking with activity, mirroring my activity, occurring with simultaneity to whatever my activity is, physical or on an electronic device, okay? And so this is 1:08 a.m., the state sounding its sirens, the screensaver on the television, and then moments later it's changing back into what is the prompt, the original prompt for the pin for a parental code, which is not set on this television. It is not set by me and never was set by me. So understand this is necessarily being that which is being used to operate this affect the operation of the television. Okay. This is remote control of it, not the physical remote control, the channel changer. I mean, remotely, this operation of this television is being controlled, and that is pursuant to ongoing corporate invasion of privacy by entity, right? This is what the entity is necessarily engaged in order to ceaselessly monitor. It also logically follows where the government is monitoring you. You are subject to surveillance. The people of the state of California that are engaging in that same behavioral pattern are also engaged in that surveillance. And while I am speaking to what is criminal conduct, understand that there is a demonic feature, and this is that which, while I'm not going to expound upon it because I base all of my, the entirety of this case on objective evidence, but like I said, it is relevant context, and it is also that which shall be fully addressed and relevant at punishment. The fact that this is entirely demented, it is rooted in that which is of the demonic, and there is that demonic feature. The people of the state of California engaging in what is entirely malicious conduct, where they are focused on you, doing nothing other than everything that they are doing is for that criminal purpose of monitoring you, while maintaining their selves outwardly as though they are doing something else. Okay, where everything about the environment is speaking to the truth of what is entirely demented criminal targeting and monitoring. Group stalking. All right, this is a stalker that is looking the other way while literally following you as a group, okay? And they're doing it hand in hand, all right? That's a psychopath, all right? And they're all engaging in that together. That is literally of the demonic, okay? And this is the use of the inanimate objects pursuant to that same ongoing criminal pattern of conduct, no malfunction of the television inside of this room, ongoing criminal monitoring, and spectrum documented inside of this room, doing nothing but monitoring, repairing nothing. There is no malfunction. It is P.O.C. And P.O.C. continues, and the P.O.C. continues in that same manner as well, using that parental code. And so 1:08 a.m., like I said, siren sounding, the screensaver, literally you're crying a pin to unlock it, but then all of a sudden it's changing into a screensaver, and then it by itself again changes back into what is a prompt for the pin for some sort of parental code, and the television abruptly turns back on again. As I also take a picture of the moment that I change features on my phone from the website that I have, the patternofconduct.wordpress.com, where I published my podcast and the video at approximately 1:13 a.m. again on Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. And with simultaneity to that conduct, the television turns right back on again. Outside of my operation, I am not turning it on and off. As you can see, friends is what is captured in that picture. The info at the bottom of the television showing that it is Nickelodeon. This is not channel 2, which is the channel that will turn on when the controller is used to turn the television on and off, which is the only thing that I can use. Other than that, I'd have to physically go up and touch the television and turn it on and off. But I am not turning the television on. It's going right back to the channel that it was on, which is also speaking to what is the outside control of this television. When I am controlling it and turning it on and off, which I don't have a way to turn the screen black. I either turn it on or off. I don't have a way to turn it black and keep it black. That's the state. I have documented that conduct. And I've also documented it coming right back onto the same channel that it was on. This is speaking to the function of that television. And again, this is spectrum operated television. This is also all speaking to what I have already established, but I'm just going ahead. I'm very thorough in everything that I'm doing and explaining. It is clearly not me. This is also proven by the fact of the way that the television operates. This is the Spectrum internet operated television. If I was turning it on and off, it would be on channel 2. You clearly see in my picture that I take, and again, the television coming right back on, which is the creation of audible activity, light activity, and visible activity with simultaneity to my changing activity on my telephone, and I immediately took a picture of that. This is P.O.C., the state engaging in P.O.C. by sounding its sirens while operating a television inside of what is a private space. That is all connected conduct, and this is the ongoing analysis where the government is monitoring you, and you are applying what is that ongoing criminal conduct pursuant to the elements of monitoring, light, activity, and relevant positioning, because that is what all conduct that is occurring in in the environment, visibly, audibly, or sensationally, is serving. All right. And so this is why third parties that are walking up and down the stairs, standing outside, smoking their cigarettes as though it's some ordinary conduct, and it is not. It is absolutely not. This is nothing but federal group stalking and monitoring on a ceaseless basis, which, by the way, is also being documented on surveillance cameras. This is the state's means of monitoring. It is also the targeted individual's means of documentation, okay, and prosecution. It is April 21st, 2021. It's 1:31 a.m., and this is just to punctuate the P.O.C. is ceaseless, as I've stated, but I just want to go ahead and up those include these notes. And this is Spectrum is implicated in P.O.C. P.O.C. All right. Spectrum is fully engaged in monitoring American citizens inside of their private homes, a private residence. This is an egregious level of criminal conduct. And this is how the public entity that is a government is ceaselessly keeping tabs on American citizens. I am documenting it and publishing it for the masses. And this is also to empower the ordinary targeted individual. Again, having ordinarily would have no idea what is going on, is likely freaked out, is being defamed, called crazy, and while aware but not able to put a finger on what is actually occurring all around them, what the people around them are doing, although they have a suspicion. But again, you have no idea what is going on. And it is designed that way. This is from every tactic that I am documenting. Understand, using airplanes and helicopters is designed to freak out the targeted individual, and it is designed to be so fantastical. I'm making up a word on purpose because it is designed to be so unbelievable that you are going to be assumed as being out of your mind. Okay, nuttier than a fruitcake. It is malicious conduct. They are engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring for that specific purpose. All right, it is designed to depict, while you are literally, really, truly subject to this conduct, which is criminal and demonic. This is the malice with which the entity monitored. It is not only engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring, it is also done in such incredible manners, such that it is designed to be unbelievable, that which is unfathomable. A fake sun hovering above you everywhere you are, remaining where you are, is unbelievable, but for documentation. Okay. And so this is speaking to the intensity of that federal prosecution. This is speaking to the absence of any presumption of legitimacy by that public entity. And the people of the state of California are a part of that entity where the government is monitoring. And how do you know? You are establishing the pattern of conduct of the government, the state, the public entity. The people of the state of California are monitoring you where that public entity is engaged in that pattern of conduct. This is what follows, and this is what is established by the documentation. So the people of the state of California engaging in monitoring on behalf and vicariously on behalf and maliciously in concert with the state are engaged in that criminal system. There is absolutely no form whereby anything other than those elements are being satisfied on a ceaseless basis. And it is also that which is an ongoing malicious and demented demonic group conduct. Okay. And so this is P.O.C. Erica Lorraine Spencer. And that is, again, April 21st, 2021, 1:34 a.m. That is the P.O.C.